is the fact that the media and corporate influence and lobbying groups that you mentioned beforehand have so much of an influence on what we think and what we believe, that it influences our vote and what we're doing, so that we're really not actually democratically voting in terms of what we think, because our thoughts, if you understand what I'm going, have been so heavily influenced by corporate interests or lobbyist interests. Speak to that a little bit, and the limitations of democracy with that in mind.
Democracy is open to corruption by the influence. And when you have media who are more advocates or activists than trying to provide reasoned and independent journalism, now whether that's Fox News or MSNBC, you will see a lot of bias and a lot of activism in that part of it. But there's a very simple solution to that, is either don't listen to them, or don't read them, or don't watch them, or even better, have a diverse diet of media input. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, you'll find that the progressive left and the conservative right, they live in their own media bubble, and they'll have one or two media providers. One of the best things to do, the most radical thing you can do, one of the healthiest things you can do, listen to news channels outside your cultural, tribal, and political bubble. So whether that means listening to someone, like a little bit of MSNBC, or reading the odd New York Times article or something like that. Also, find some news outlets that you think are trustworthy and independent. I rather like reading the Free Press from Barry Weiss. I also like the magazine Quillette. I like listening to the British. There's a left-wing libertarian podcast called Spiked, and I find them, pretty good. They're left-wing, very secularist, but they're also libertarian as well. So let's find some good journalists and some good platforms who are outside the two-party system, who think outside the box, and and try to listen to some news from outside the world, whether that's BBC or Al Jazeera. Get some non-American news sources in your diet. That will give you a massive new perspective. You will have new vistas opening up before you. And the other thing is, if you're going to have a democracy, then you can pass legislation, you can pass laws to get business out of politics.